my little fire poker. It's like a mini cane. See, it's got a little handle on the end here. Oh my goodness. The things you find. I thought I had an oven mitt. I don't know where it is. So, using my tea towel, and I'll have to wash it at some point because it's going to smell like campfire. I'm really enjoying this salsa. It's like, I don't know, sweet and spicy. Still kind of struggling with my fire a little bit. You know, the hardest part is obviously getting the, once you get it hot, and then it's easy to maintain. But man, I spent a lot of time going and getting the small brush, the little twigs under the pine trees, and just when I thought I had it going, and it would almost go out. And yeah, anyway, there's these big logs here that I don't know if you can see the other ones on the. I don't think you can see the other ones on the other side of the fire. I got a bunch of big logs there, and carrying them over here from wherever I went and looked for deadfall, and they're pretty waterlogged. They're pretty heavy, so I'm gonna have to have a really hot base. But anyways, we got her going now, and I think I gotta get a little bit more. All I ever cook with is coconut oil, so I gotta go get a little bit more coconut oil because I don't even hear it sizzling in there. So it's probably dry. My veggies are gonna be stuck to the bottom of the. I'll be scraping them. I don't know. There's not much I want to talk about right now, anyways. But sometimes I would be the one watching these videos of somebody out in the wilderness and cooking on their fire, and sometimes I just enjoyed watching them do their thing and not even say anything. So, anyways, I'm gonna go get some more coconut oil. Oh, I wanted to show you guys this. Can't remember if I showed it in an earlier video or not, but love the journey, not just the ride. Yeah. The last few nights I had I just kind of stealth camped. I left my top down when I was at my friend's place, and just was sleeping in the kitchen part. So it's nice. I'm excited. I popped it up today, so I'm excited to sleep up top, where it's more comfortable. And not too bad. Alrighty. Nothing like cooking on an open fire. I'm not completely anti-meat, but I'm not, and I very much enjoy. Well, I really love steak, but I'll be honest with you guys. I didn't have a problem. I had to stop eating beef. I don't know, probably 5 years ago. I started I don't know. I would get really, really. Oh my goodness! It felt like I was having a heart attack. I mean, I don't know what a heart attack feels like, so I don't know. But I had chest pain, like heart pain, after every time I ate beef. And it just started maybe 5 years ago. And what's crazy is I went down to Mexico, and I don't know, I just wasn't really thinking about it. And a few times I eat beef, no issues. So you can read into that however you want. I know what it means. We got stuff on our beef that shouldn't be in our beef, but that goes with all meats, right? So, it's kind of sad. You know, there's countries that have like all these all these restrictions, like all these foods that you can't eat or they can't put in ingredients they can't put in foods. And it's not the same right across the board, like I'm not positive, but I think like the USA is like the worst, I think, um, for like allowances of, oh my God. Anyways, so yeah. So yeah, my favorite is fish. Um, I gotta start. I wanna I wanna learn to fish actually. Like I was in Mexico and I was kind of manifesting that I wanted it, and I went to a secluded beach and geez, I just got there and there was a gentleman that was fishing, but he was just all by himself, and he walks over with a fish, like things still flopping. I've never cleaned a fish, and he's like, "Hey, you want a fish? I got an extra or whatever." And I'm like, "Sure, right?" And then I told him, I'm like, you know, and he's like, "Well, I can clean it for you if you want." I'm like, "No, I gotta learn, man." And I had watched a couple of YouTube videos before I left, and I kind of had a little bit of an idea. I was figuring it wasn't going to look pretty for my first one, but he said it did pretty good. So, anyways, and I was telling him that I always wanted to learn to fish, and I just don't really know how. No one's ever really showed me. And he says, "Well, I got an extra rod, and if you want to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning." So there we were at 7 o'clock the next morning, casting into the ocean, and I caught one, and I cleaned it, and I ate it. And so I bought a fishing rod since, and I just haven't gotten around to. Well, depends on where you are, right? In Canada and USA, you gotta have a fishing license, so no big deal. I mean, I'll get a license and learn the regulations, and you're only allowed so many in this season, and blah 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 and blah blah blah. And so, but you don't need a license in Mexico. I don't think so, anyway. So, yeah, I gotta get going on that, and then, but as far as the rest of the meat goes, like, you know, pork. I like pork, but I just don't eat a lot of meat. I don't know, and I didn't do it on purpose. Like, I love vegetables, and I love vegetables. So I mostly just buy. I try and go to the farmers markets and get fresh veggies, so I know where it's coming from. But if I can't, then I don't know. I just do my best. But most of the time, yeah. I mean, I don't. Meat's so expensive. I can't really understand it. I mean, beef, like steaks in particular, are like ridiculous, right? And then pork's like the cheapest. I don't know. Seems like it. Chicken, depending on where you are. Chicken's really expensive or chicken's really cheap. Like, I bought a package of chicken the other day, and it was like a whole big, huge package, and I think it was like $5 in the USA, which is like pretty darn cheap, man. And then I don't know, the same package in Canada would be like $20, and then I don't know, I can't remember what Mexico is like a little cheaper, but anyways, USA is beautiful, but it's very expensive. Not only for living and things, I guess, like, well, from what I hear, but even food, like, it's kind of crazy. Like, so I'm Canadian, right? And our dollar is crappy compared to the American dollar, and things are the same price. You know what I mean? Like, if you go in and buy a thing of tomatoes that's $5 in Canada, it's $5 here, the same thing in the USA. So, and my money's Canadian, so it's really costing me like $8. My fire's not looking so hot shit, is it? I have to get some more. Jeez, I thought I had it, man. It was rip roaring. Oh well. Yeah. Real terrible problem, right? Sitting in the wilderness, talking to myself, listening to absolutely nothing but peace and quiet, smelling beautiful pine, and the day is gorgeous, and there's barely a cloud, and I'm on top of a mountain. I'm in like my jammy pants. I got slippers on. I'm eating lentil turmeric chips with mango salsa. Yeah, like really terrible problem. Oh my god. Well, my daughter had a friend that she played hockey with, and she used to always say, "Yeah, first world problem, eh? First world problem." Always when anyone would complain, first world problem. Yeah, exactly. Well, you never hear me complain because I don't know. It doesn't even make any sense, to be honest. Like, what's the point of complaining? Does it make you feel better? I don't know. I don't think so. Does it get you anywhere? Does it fix the problem? Does it make like no? I don't know. I don't know, man. I was just talking to someone yesterday and I said like I feel like there's a shift coming, with the younger generation that they're starting to wake up, and they're starting to think for themselves and you know, I mean not all of them, but I'm just noticing a change and a shift. You know, it's easier to notice when you leave your area, right? Or it's not even about leaving your area, but when you go and dive into like 1,000 different areas, like I've been constantly traveling for a year and a half. I haven't left North America, but still, I've been in hundreds, probably thousands of different towns and talked to thousands of different people. And so, you get when you have time to actually talk to people and you engage with people that want to engage with you and you have time, it's amazing what you learn and what you find out and what you share. And like so and me, I like to have these. I like, honestly, my favorite thing to talk about is just first of all intellectual, like deep stuff, like, well, I say deep but spiritually deep. That's kind of my fascination, is spiritual. But just and like healing and growth and things like that. Like I meet a lot of people that just need to, we just have the most basic conversation about like, just whatever, tweaking something just slightly in their life, or sometimes it's not even talking about like a lot of times I feel people out and I sense whether they can, you know, and I'll use myself. I'm okay. Like I'm one of the most open people, period. I'll tell you anything and everything. I have no shame. I have no guilt. I have nothing, like, because it is what it is. And, we've all had things and done things and whatever, but it's all gone. It's all in the past, like, so you can't do anything about it. You can't change it. So don't live in it. But at the same time, I love helping, or I love sharing. If you're open, what happens is, even if you're just sharing your own shit, what happens is people learn from that, or not necessarily learn from it. It's just that they get something from it, right? Like, they literally all, like, even if they don't say anything, like, they'll be thinking, huh, okay, and even if it's like 10 or 15 or 20 things that you've talked about, if there was only one thing that, resonates with them and they, make a little shift or something, like, even yesterday I went into a gas station, there was a young woman working there, and, I was just talking to her for a second while I was paying, and, she said, oh, I'm from California, but here we are in Idaho. So I was like, well, what brought you here? And blah, blah. And anyways, she says, oh, yeah, I'd love to travel, or I'd love to go see more places or whatever. And she's like, but, so I told her about the workaway thing. And she's like, oh, what's that? I don't know what that is. And she wrote it down. She grabbed like a little piece of the receipt, the thing that the paper spits out of the receipt thing. She just grabbed a blank piece out of there. And as soon as I said it, and I was talking about it, she grabbed a piece of paper and wrote it down, workaway. And I thought, oh my gosh, imagine, like, that's the one thing that, if she looks into it and she ends up going all over the world for, like, I mean, sure, you got to come up with a little bit of money maybe to fly to different places and things like that. But I mean, you got a free place to stay. And even for ones that don't pay anything, but you work for them because you're working for the place to stay and food, you get to travel the world and see the world. Like, that could change her life. It's the silliest little thing. And it's not silly. Isn't that amazing, guys? Like, that's the shit that fuels me. You know what I mean? I really need to do something about my fire because it's getting smokier. But one good thing I'm happy about is for a while there, the smoke was going right in my camper. Like, I had my door open and I looked over a few times and it was like literally going right in it. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm going to have to wash everything. Or drive with all the windows up and out. And anyways, I don't know. It's kind of funny. But anyways, so it's amazing, guys. Take the time. We get so consumed. Most people are so freaking consumed, and they're so self-absorbed. You're like, a lot of people, not everybody, but so many people are just so into them. That's all they know what's going on is what's happening with them, and they don't have a clue what's going on outside of their own selves, and it's sad because we can all make such a huge difference in the world. Like I said, it's just the silliest, like, not silly, it's just the tiniest little thing. I say workaway, she writes it down. Like I said, for all I know, that young woman's going to travel the world and go to all these places now. You know what I mean? I said, you can go to school whenever you want. You know what I mean? Like, do whatever you want, right? Like, I don't know, man. Got to find your path, right? Find your own path. I'm gonna leave the video with that. I shouldn't have even left it with that. It should just be that. Let's make little differences for people, guys. Let's make little differences. Just, next time you meet a stranger, just engage, and see how, if they engage, great. And if they don't, they don't. Just say hello, good morning, how are you? See how it goes. You know what I mean? We got to get away from fear. Fear of making eye contact, fear of what, yeah, there's,
shit going on in the world and stuff. But if we spend all our time thinking about the things that could go wrong, or how someone's going to react to what we say. Like if you say good morning to someone and they didn't say anything to you or not look at you, well, so what? Who gives a shit? Move on. You know what I mean? Like no big deal, right? Let it go. But that's the problem. A lot of us, we hold that. Like, well, what's wrong with me? I wish I didn't say that now. Now I feel crummy or something. Why? Who cares? That's whatever. The reason why they didn't look at you or the reason why they didn't answer is simply because they've got something going on. Because, if someone looks at me, sure, I got things going on, but I'm all about engaging, and I'm happy, and I'm compassionate about the people in the world. And if someone looks at me in the morning and says, good morning, I am good morning right back at you. And hello, how are you? What's up? And that's because inside I'm happy and I'm good, right? I'm still learning. I'm still growing. It's only going to get better and stronger and whatever. But guys, I'm telling you right now, if you watch this, I'm going to recommend one thing. If you have never read The Four Agreements, read it. It's a game changer. It'll change your life because the four agreements, they are like literally the stepstones of, just read it, guys. Trust me. I don't even want to tell you about it. If you don't and you're not open to it, well, that's fine. But you know what? The book is this thick. It's literally, I'm a terrible reader. I read slow. Sometimes I got to double read shit because it didn't sink in. But I'm telling you, it took me like 2 days, not even. Like it's thin. It's not a big book. It won't even take you long. And what have you got to lose? Just read it. And if you don't like it or it doesn't resonate with you, then well, you just wasted 8 hours of your time. So what? But I'm telling you, it's big stuff. It's not even complicated. It's just simple. Like, okay, I'll tell you what they are. Because I feel like a lot of you won't read it, but maybe if I tell you a little bit, then maybe you will be drawn to read it. So first of all, don't take things personally.